It's a drizzly afternoon in Lexington, Kentucky, but nothing can dampen the excitement for action between Lexington Sporting Club and the Carolina Ascent. Lexington will hope Julie Mackin can recreate her insane goal that contributed to their recent victory against DC Power. Carolina Ascent need Jill Aguilera to get on the ball more and help connect the dots between the lines. Lexington SC versus Carolina Ascent is coming up next. You don't want to miss it. USL Super League returns to Lexington Sporting Club Stadium in Kentucky with high hopes for the gals in green. Carolina Ascent arrive in town looking to stabilize what has been a turbulent spring season so far for them. Jessica Charman, Chelsea Kabakis, our entire crew welcome you to our coverage here. And for Lexington Sporting Club, they're coming into this game with some momentum. They most recently were successful against DC Power.
Lexington has been going through some changes with the coaching staff and player positions, but they've managed to secure a win against DC Power, so that's a great confidence booster. They played a low block, were patient, and quick in their transitions. However, there were some questionable defensive movements where players would just get caught chasing the ball.
With 2 goals in their favor, which is a good sign, but as you mentioned so well, Chelsea, disappointing for Lexington that they weren't able to keep the shutout. Sam Stockley, interim head coach, talked about Hannah White getting on the score sheet, and now she is full of confidence.
White netted her first goal in the previous match against DC. She consistently looks to make those runs behind the defense. Her height gives her that advantage in holding off opponents. Great sense for transitions. She actually scored her last goal by just staying engaged with the play.
And she'll get another start tonight to see what she can do against a Carolina Ascent side that was so impressive early on during their life in the USL Super League. Were top of the table consistently and with a team that everybody looked to as an example.
Jess, we have to keep in mind that this is a new league and all the coaches entered this season blind without knowing each team's strengths or weaknesses. So everything was great because in the beginning, no one really had a clue. And individually, this is a really strong squad. Carolina Ascent had that specific advantage. It wasn't immediately clear that they were missing a typical number 9. Now, in the second half of the season, teams have adapted to the different playing styles and figured out how to exploit positional gaps, and they still lack that true number 9.
They do lack the goal-scoring prowess, but a player that is hoping to step into that role and maybe get more opportunities to add to her 6 goals is Mia Corbin.
Mia Corbin is talented when she has the ball at her feet and finds herself in those 1v1 duels facing the defender. So the trick for her is to just get in between lines and receive that ball at an angle to minimize that extra touch so that she's facing forward immediately, so then she's just free to be creative and use her judgment to slot balls or just take a shot.
Well, this is matchup number 4 for the regular season, the final matchup between these 2 sides. Lexington Sporting Club and Carolina Ascent have drawn twice. Carolina Ascent has picked up the victory just 1 time. We'll see what's in store. 90 minutes of soccer ahead. Stick with us here.
I shouldn't be here. That's what the first 3 doctors said. That even if I made it to remission, I'd probably never climb again. But I did, because I wanted a different answer. And I found it at UK Healthcare. They took a drug nobody else had yet. 12 rounds of chemo and a 16-person team. But here I am, right where I was never supposed to be.
Who is Lexington Sporting Club? We are the professional soccer team in the heart of the Bluegrass. From our Youth Academy to the Women's Super League to the Men's USL Championship team, we're building the future. From every corner of Lexington, we are united under one crest. This is your team. This is your community. Together, we are creating our story and leaving our mark. This isn't just any club. It's a club to call your own. Get your tickets today at lexsporting.com/tickets.
I'll show you something so big that you ain't never seen before. I'll show you something you've never seen before.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Welcome back to a drizzly Lexington Sporting Club stadium, but anticipation for what is set to be a fantastic final regular season meeting between Lexington Sporting Club and the visiting Carolina Ascent. Jessica Jarman, Chelsea Kabagas, our entire crew, and for interim head coach Sam Stockley, Chelsea, he's made some changes to his lineup.
Lexington sets up in a 4-2-3-1 formation. They're playing a patient low block. They're compact. They like to force that ball out wide instead of allowing passes through the middle. Shin is quick and agile in that back line, typically clearing up loose balls and 1v1 situations, while up top, White has been showing improvement in getting forward and demanding the ball at her feet. Definitely expect more to be that connect presence in the middle of the pitch.
And for head coach Philip Poole, Carolina Ascent has plenty of household names, but they need to perform as a unit today.
Carolina Ascent is claiming to come out in a 4-3-3, but really expect them to change to a 4-2-3-1, so this game will be man for man. They make sure to have triangular figures all around the field for that extra support. Vicky Bruce is normally the center back to play those safe passes, but Studer will be taking her place. Expect that left side to be dominant with Aguilera stepping high, cutting in, looking to cross, which this back line sometimes looks like a line of three. And lastly, Corbin will look to shift centrally to receive those ball in between lines.
You mentioned Mia Corbin, a player that's been a little frustrated as of late, as you see the rain pouring down now in Lexington. Difficult conditions for these sides, but they will be delighted to play nonetheless. Our referee today is Stephanie McFarland, and we are underway as Carolina Ascent visit Lexington Sporting Club in the final regular season matchup between these two clubs. Got an opportunity to talk to Carolina Ascent head coach Philip Poole. He told us that it's just been a bit of a tricky period for them at the moment, creating chances, but not being able to put games to bed. Has felt like they've dropped too many points in this spring season. And as we know, with plenty of other teams in form, that playoff line starting to look a little bit more risky as a direct through ball. Quick off of a line is Leshnak Murphy.
Well, Jess, right now, Carolina Ascent doesn't have their typical 9. If I were in this coaching staff, I would like to see this team change formation, possibly play with 3 in the back line and use 2 forwards. There's nothing wrong with that because you have Corbin, who's a typical 9. She's a forward. She's not really a center mid, so she's dropping really deep, which gets her out of position when she's really good at just running at players.
We'll see if Philip Poole opts to make some adjustments depending on how this game goes. Jill Aguilera stands over the possession. Aguilera dinks his service in, falls back to Corbin, who's able to lay it across the pitch. Butler still with the possession. Butler now cuts it back, deflection, it's spilled and put into the back of the net. It's touched in by Riley Parker. And those tricky conditions for goalkeepers lead to a tap-in for Riley Parker.
It's so important to set the tempo of the game. Right off the bat, they got that goal in, and she made sure that she was part of the play. She made sure that she was in tune with what was going on.
We get another look at the replay there. Sarah Cox spilling the ball. No doubt she will be disappointed. And it is a start of nightmares right now for Lexington Sporting Club. That goal number 1 in the Super League for Riley Parker.
I must have jinxed myself by saying that they didn't have a typical 9 position because Parker stood right in the top of that 6 and she maintains her position to go ahead and slot that ball in.
You see how the home side can respond now to that adversity as a huge slide tackle comes in. Trying to stretch her legs was Hannah Richardson. Studer with a good tackle away. And Chelsea, you've been a player in these conditions, less than ideal.
I was actually just going to mention that. Let's play into the fact that the field is wet, the ball is going to move faster, it's going to bounce quicker. So players have to be in tune with their touch, their first touch. It has to be clean and quick.
Sarah Cox, the goalkeeper for Lexington Sporting Club today, has split game time with Bridget Skiba. That'll be a moment she would like to forget. Good news, though, for Sam Stockley's side, of course, is plenty more soccer to have been played and plenty of opportunities to get back into this match now on home turf. Here's Mackin. Scored the wonder strike against DC Power. Mackin loops in the throw, headed by White. Controlled by Moya. Good run forward from Emma Johnson. Johnson, lightly cut back as Johnson assesses, puts in the cross and a huge punch away by Leshnak Murphy. A strike from distance comes fizzing wide. Does deflect and lead to our first corner kick of the match, and this Lexington SC corner kick is brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union.
Both teams are going to have to be very careful with those bouncing balls, the rebounds, especially with the field condition, because the ball is going to bounce quicker. It's going to be easy, the goalkeeper, for the ball to slip out of her hands.
We saw that on the other side of the pitch with the Carolina Ascent go-ahead goal. Nicole Vernis crosses this one in towards the 6. It's met with a big header away. And then Corbin combines to clear further afield. Vernis finding some space. And then a beautiful slip pass into the channel for Katie Doyle, who just jumped her guns and is offside.
Vernis did an incredible job by cutting in, looking for that space, taking advantage of that space that Carolina Ascent gave her, and playing that cross ball.
So we get a look at Sam Stockley. He'll be a little bit disappointed with the way this game has started, but a very positive coach. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by UK Healthcare, and you can see for Carolina Ascent in particular, the names adding up. Vicky Bruce, a huge miss, and then just the lone Claire Winter, unable to be selected today for Sam Stockley's side. Here is Corbin. Cross coming in deep and over the crossbar. It was a good play on that far side by Addison Merrick. Merrick, who arrived partway through the season in game number 12 for Carolina Ascent now. Cox will boot this ball on. Flipped on by Corbin and then Merrick, and it's ping pong with the headers, but it does find Harding. Harding. Lexington Sporting Club looking now to find an attack of their own, but they give it away all too easily.
What I'm seeing by this Carolina Ascent side is that they're connecting passes. They're looking for those spaces in between, being patient, not forcing the ball up top. If they can't go forward, they simply just bring it right back to swing it through the back line.
And how impressive is that for you as the away side? Sometimes you expect the home side to dominate possession, but the away side setting up the way they want to play.
It really depends on, I think that there was a talk in the locker room before this game, and it was basically to let them know, like, hey, listen, we started this season strong. Now confidence is high and we aren't doing as well. The main point of this is to keep possession. Don't force the ball up if you can't go.
See the free kick retaken, the rolling ball spotted by Stephanie McFarland, our referee. So we get a look at Philip Poole, dressed for the elements. Philip Poole told us that he has a good problem, that he knows his team is underachieving. Driving forwards is Merrick. Merrick squares the pass and nobody timed their run to be able to connect.
What's interesting is that usually the dominant side for this Ascent side is left with Aguilar stepping up and cutting in. But what we're really seeing is that they're being dominant on the right side. They're taking those chances, they're taking the space, looking to cross that ball in.
There's been several final third entries for Carolina Ascent. They haven't been able to create a larger cushion. Corbin starts the pass through. It's hung in the air. And the cross coming in from Ellie Hutchinson didn't find anybody. Hutchinson, who is beginning to feature for the Israeli women's national team, scored a goal last time in the international break. Shepherd sees her ball cross down. And as a player, Chelsea, how do you get your mind in the right place when you concede a goal that early on?
It really comes down to maturity, right? You score the goal, and now it's just like, all right, we're still 0-0. You can't get comfortable with the score because anything can change at any given second. And I think that's what a lot of teams struggle with in the USL Super League, that they don't have that maturity yet to maintain scores. It's exactly what we saw yesterday with Fort Lauderdale, first place team, losing to a 7th place Spokane.
Something that's been exciting, of course, about the USL Super League is that parity that you mentioned. Everybody has an opportunity against everybody. 2 1-1 draws between these two sides, and then a 2-1 victory for Carolina Ascent. So they shade the matchup between the two, but right now it is Carolina Ascent looking for their second victory with the 1-0 lead off of the 2nd minute goal by Riley Parker. Here's Merrick. Merrick picks her head up and then sends the ball into the 18. Cox came for it, and right now Cox looking a little nervous.
What a beautiful look by Merrick. She's been playing fantastic on that right side, looking for those long diagonal balls to switch the point of the attack, and that's what really catches defenders off guard. Those diagonal balls up in the air. It's a weird way to have to defend that, especially when the field is wet, because the ball goes a lot faster.
Cox had to send that one forward, and you're so right, Chelsea. On this wet grass, anything can happen for goalkeepers. So far, Carolina Ascent able to be the quickest to respond to a loose ball. It's a great move out the back by Sydney Studer. Studer. Porter. And a searching long ball for Aguilera to chase onto. Jill Aguilera. See the stumble there as Aguilera free in the box, squares the pass, and just unable to sort her feet out there for the finish was Riley Parker, searching for goal number 2 on the afternoon.
This is exactly what Lexington needs to be careful with. Aguilera is very versatile with her feet, and as a left back, she really isn't a left back, she's a forward, so she likes to look for those 1v1s. She wants to score, she wants to assist.
Feels like it's been a change in the modern game of a lot of wingers naturally playing as fullbacks now to get that attacking presence forward. You can see Philip Poole buying into that model with Aguilera more comfortable going forward, but able to sit in the back line and offer you a dynamic of the overlaps.
And can I just say that left back position is not an easy position to fill or play. There's a lot of running.
Are you talking from experience,
I'm
Chelsea?
talking from experience.
Johnson throws it in. Good hustle from Hutchinson as she recovers possession, goes to ground. Referee's whistle blows. Stephanie McFarland not happy with that contact coming in on the back of Ellie Hutchinson.
This game really depends on each side's midfield, how fast they're able to compose themselves to the transitions.
Low driving ball from Aguilera. Didn't really connect well enough with it. There's a little toe poke forward into a turning White. White. Bounce forced to Moya. Shane Moya shaping up for the shot. Deflected and into the hands of Samantha Leshnak-Murphy. Shane Moya, a player that Sam Stockley spoke about being extremely versatile. Wanted to see her push forward into different areas of the field today where she can shine. Aguilera. Corbin, a little too heavy in her touch there. Shepherd. And all the way back to Sarah Cox in goal. been a difficult season defensively for Lexington. Only 2 shutouts on the season, 1 for each of their goalkeepers that have featured. Sarah Cox with the lone clean sheet to her name. And that's got to be a gut punch when you concede a goal so early on and realize that that shutout is no longer available, as we get a look at Sam Stockley. This was not part of his game plan. Harding able to earn the throw-in. How important is a second goal for Carolina Ascent? They've had a history of not being able to close out games and get a big enough cushion. Will that be a concern for them?
Jess, getting that second goal is very important. I mean, early on, you want to get as many goals as you can so that you can go ahead and sit back and be a little bit more comfortable and play your game, especially when you're playing on a field like this, because anything can happen at any given second, because bouncing balls, rebounds, the ball's going to travel a lot faster. Everyone's touch is not going to be superb.
Don't want to leave anything to the chances. As Aguilera tried to connect with Hutchinson. And able to read it as Corbin all the way back in her own half. To Merrick. Merrick weaving inside. Porter. And patiently finds Aguilera.
What I'm liking about this Ascent side is that they're passing and they're moving right away to occupy different spaces.
Aguilera.
You can see Porter showing hand movements, telling her teammates, communicating with her teammates, hey, move into that space. And that's really important. Communication is so important in the game, especially in the middle of the park. It makes life so much easier.
Looked like Sarah Cox got away with one there. That ball pretty clearly completely out of play, but linesmen unable to see it from their angle, and instead Carolina Ascent got a throw in. Leshnak Murphy. Been a difficult task for Leshnak Murphy coming in to replace Meg McClelland in the starting lineup. Meg McClelland obviously a Super League standout in the full season. Philip Paul told us he wants competition in that goalkeeper union spot and feels like he is blessed with 2 very quality goalkeepers. It's Lexington looking to combine now. Moore up to Moya and back to Moore. Switching pass from Shin. Mackin crosses into the danger zone, but yet again Leshnak Murphy coming to claim and bowling out instantly. Parker to Corbin. Corbin defended by Shepherd. What can she do? Beautiful switch from Corbin. Flags to stay down. And a strike into the boots of Cox, and then a double save by Sarah Cox. Cox able to thwart Harding with the double effort.
What an incredible combination by Corbin and Harding, how they looked, how they combined, how they're able to connect. On the Lexington end, this is how they get scored on. A lot of the times, it's just a lack of maturity, of not being able to concentrate, attention to detail, paying attention to their movements. They let their movements be dictated by the ball rather than the players around them.
It's a great moment for Sarah Cox's confidence, though, to make a stunning double save. It has led to a corner kick, though.
Cox has made a lot of saves this season.
She's certainly been a busy bee today. As Aguilera setting up for the in-swinger. Jill Aguilera towards the edge of the 6, headed down. Chaotic scramble back to Aguilera. Aguilera rinding the defender, puts it in, and Cox smothers cleanly this time.
Aguilera has a great cross on her, a great shot. If I were this Lexington side, I would try to deny that service, apply that high pressure.
We've just seen a howler out of the back there, and Just as we were praising the defensive recovery, Lexington Sporting Club have made a poor decision out the back and capitalizing. Who else but Mia Corbin? So we get another look at what happened here. A defensive miscue finds Corbin, and she slots it straight home out of nowhere. Carolina Ascent able to double their tally.
Mia Corbin is going to capitalize on errors of any team of the opponent. If she sees that net wide open, she will take that shot. Lexington needs to avoid making those errors in the back line.
A disappointing moment for Lexington Sporting Club, who had seemed to tidy up some things defensively. We'll see if they're able to approach things a little better now. Doyle. Good combination. So cross comes in, it's flicked on by White into the 18. A strike from distance is swiped away off of the line by Studer.
They haven't had many chances. Lexington hasn't had many chances, but when they do, they should capitalize on those moments. If I were this Lexington side, I would just high press, knowing that Murphy isn't good with her feet.
We did see Leshnak Murphy with a nervous moment out of the back when Carolina Ascent conceded in their 1-0 loss. And there's that cushion goal, Chelsea, that we were talking about being important. And now all the momentum with Philip Paul's Carolina Ascent side. Harding, a slip, finds Porter. Porter knocks it back. Combination on the edge of the 18 finds Hutchinson. And Porter recycles to Aguilera. And right now it feels like Lexington are struggling the most with the conditions. We'll have another look at the goal and see how the conditions played a role. It felt like everything had settled with Cox. And then she bowled it into traffic, a poor little bounce back pass. Shin has the slip. And it's just a thing of nightmares from Lexington Sporting Club.
This is every defender's nightmare, for the field to play a part in a goal. But what the defender had to clearly do is just go for the ball. You got to clear it out.
Adjusting to these conditions is key, and it feels like Carolina Ascent have adjusted the best to the weather. Splitting pass across to Corbin, who already has a goal today. Mia Corbin. Deep cross on the volley. The strike came in off the volley by Tricoli. And it's out for a corner kick for Carolina Ascent. So look at Sarah Tricoli, has a goal so far in her Super League career. Physical presence coming up to try and impede the view of Sarah Cox.
What's great about Tricoli is that she has size on her. So she plays that physical player in the middle, and also for the set pieces. She's going to get right in front of the goalkeeper to try to just slot it in or block the vision.
Aguilera puts it in towards the front post. Cox comes to claim, doesn't get a convincing punch. In the end, the shot coming in is sailing over the crossbar by Sydney Studer.
As we see here, Tricoli was in front of the goalkeeper, blocking the vision. The goalkeeper couldn't really see, Cox couldn't really see where she was going.
You see that tactical positioning also often trying to impede the goalkeeper. A lot of the time it will lead to a referee's whistle. That time Tricoli within her reason. Denise under pressure. This time plays the ball along the ground to her goalkeeper. Cox boots it long. Cheers to local beer. West 6 Brewing is proud to be the official craft beer of Lexington Sporting Club. Find their locally crafted beer all around the state of Kentucky, from the flagship West 6 IPA to Sixer Light Lager. There's something for everybody. Head to west6.com to visit one of their dynamic tap rooms and learn more about the Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC. Here come Carolina Ascent again through Addison Merrick. Merrick. Her cross is headed away by Shin. Strike from distance. Cries for a deflection.
Merrick has been dangerous on that right side. Lexington needs to win that first, second ball. They're being very patient. They're being complacent. It seems as if they're the team that's winning.
I have to think that Lexington just want to get to half-time with no more damage done. But they will have to try and defend here. And as you mentioned, Addison Merrick in game number 12 in an Ascent jersey is having an incredible impact on the right side of the field. Jill Aguilera, Puerto Rican national team player, getting ready to swing this one in. Aguilera towards the front post. Cox able to punch, and then the header from Hutchinson misses the mark.
A fine corner by Aguilera. The Ascent is just going to crash the box. They're going to try sliding that ball in.
Aguilera has had an assist this season off of a corner kick. As a giveaway again off of the keeper. A chip strike finds the back of the net. And yet again an opportunity for Carolina Ascent off of the dead ball. It's Audrey Harding with the cheeky little finish.
What an unfortunate mistake from Cox. These are things that cannot happen. Just clear the ball out of the back. Harding did an incredible job of capitalizing on these errors and chipping that ball over to the right side, being composed with the ball.
It's another gift for the Carolina Ascent that they have unwrapped now with a 3-0 lead away. And Philip Paul said he felt like they just needed a goal. They needed some confidence. They are brimming with confidence right now, as is Audrey Harding. We talked about the need for damage limitation for this Lexington Sporting Club, but the damage feels like it's very much done with a 3-0 deficit now, Chelsea.
3-0, 26 minutes in. It's really hard to come back from, but it's doable. We've seen it happen. It's doable. But the way that Lexington is playing right now, the way that they're defending, I don't really see any type of movement to go forward.
You see a potential attack. Hannah White trying to bend her run. Hannah White wasn't able to get on the end of that ball you mentioned. Lexington has found a lot of goals this season, one of the top scoring clubs in the league. It's been defensively they've had some woes, but today they haven't been able to create any looks on frame. They've had 2 shots, neither of them on target. That in stark comparison to Carolina Ascent, Chelsea, with 11 shots, 6 on target. It has been all Carolina Ascent today.
It shows where the mentality is at and where the level is at of each team, right? The Lexington side looks a bit tired. They're chasing the ball around, which naturally is they're going to get tired chasing the ball around.
It's been a mastermind of keep away. This time a giveaway, a little too cheaply done as Richardson crosses it into White. White lets it run across, and Aguilera with some confident footwork. Harding couldn't settle but recovers well. Harding. Porter. And across to Addison Merrick. Merrick, who's had a very strong first half, lays it forward into the pathway of Corbin. Corbin first time, big save by Sarah Cox. We get another look here at Mia Corbin's shot.
Mia Corbin is going to take her chances. Anytime she sees that net wide open or just even the goal, she's going to take that shot, which is a gain to her confidence. Because in the past game, she hasn't been getting that many chances.
Sometimes you just need that game, and the cliche is the floodgates will open once they get the goal, and that has been the accurate description of Carolina Ascent's afternoon.
I always say it's so important, that mind and body connection. Once you score, there's a certain movement to your body that your mind remembers. And once that happens, you're just gonna become a scoring machine, especially if you're forward.
It's a scary thought with Mia Corbin now in some form and having that confidence and swagger. Aguilera plays it down the channel. Hutchinson assesses, looking to see a delivery come in. Hutchinson plays it forward into Corbin. Aguilera on the drop, and she finds her. Tricoli. More patient possession as we get closer to the half-hour mark in this game. Philip Poole couldn't have drawn up a better execution in the drizzly weather as another stumble in front of Merrick. In the end, the tackle does come in well done by Julie Mackin. Merrick stayed on the ground though. Carolina Ascent will be concerned about that contact. Lexington will continue to play. Wasn't a head injury. Mackin driving forward into the vacated space, and a big slide tackle from Taylor Porter. We will now see the pause of play just to get a check on Addison Merrick. And let's talk a moment about Addison Merrick. Just how good has she been so far across the first half hour?
She's been fantastic. She's been taking advantage of that line, that space. She's looking for those 1v1s. Looks like she hurt her shoulder in this play.
Philip Poole, who does have a fairly deep bench today. Jada Bedoya's on the bench, Catherine Gonzalez, Ashlyn Sorepka, B. Hilton as well on a recent U19 2025 UEFA Championship qualifier call-up. So lots of players that have featured throughout the season on the bench, and I think for Philip Poole, he must be very happy. He made some changes into the lineup and it's paid off so far.
It has paid off. Sometimes you need fresh legs, new mindsets, those players that are eager to get on the field and show what they're about.
And this gives a moment for interim head coach Sam Stockley, a chance to regroup, a chance to talk to his players. You can see right now, very intense in the way that he's discussing. If you were in his shoes, what would you be telling these players?
Try to get some type of reaction out of them. You can tell by their body language, their heads are down, they're tired. They're basically just over the game. Now his job as a leader is to get their head in the game, to get them hungry, to score, to let them know that it's possible to score 3 goals.
It can be really tough in these conditions. Let's be honest here, as a player, and you've been in those shoes, getting up for the moment when it's raining, when it's cold, there's a lot of difficulty, but it has been Carolina Ascent that has been able to get up to the task. Let's have a look, and it was a very quick start for Carolina Ascent.
Carolina Ascent has been capitalizing on all the defensive errors that Lexington has been making. They've been attacking on the right side, they've been dominant. Parker is playing that typical number 9 role.
Get another look at this goal because it came out of absolutely nowhere, caught everybody, including us, off guard, as we see Corbin able to come through with the slotted pass, a gift.
Mia Corbin capitalized on the errors and that lack of communication between the goalkeeper and her back line.
And yet another capitalization of the difficulty playing out the back, Audrey Harding with goal number 3. So it's Parker in the 2nd, Corbin in the 19th, Harding in the 26th. And that has us in a 3-0 lead right now for the visitors to LSC Stadium. Addison Merrick does look like she's a little ginger in that movement. That's a player that Philip Poole would like to be able to get back into the field and up to the run of play again, because she has been brilliant today. Lexington offside from the throw-in, and that's just a lapse of concentration.
Lack of concentration, not knowing where you are on the field, lack of awareness on the field, and that's important.
This feels like a bit of a moment that displays just how the afternoon so far has been for Lexington Sporting Club. It's about character now for the home side and trying to respond to the adversity that they've faced. Sam Stockley, I'm sure, will have words in the locker room and really try and get a reaction, as you mentioned so well, out of these players.
This Lexington side they're pressing in a low block. And if they are pressing high, they're not pressing as a unit, which can be difficult because they're leaving those open spaces behind them. So it's making it easier for Ascent to connect those passes, to get in between lines, like we're seeing right here.
Has been remarkable, as you mentioned. Tidy play of the ball, this time a rare miscue, but that is Addison Merrick back into the game. A former Big 12 Defender of the Year. Not looking like a defender out there, is she?
She's not looking like a defender. She's proved me completely wrong, because I thought she was more of a defender that would stay back in Aguilera. They would release Aguilera through the left side.
It's been good to see the reins unleashed from the fullbacks today for Ascent. Mackin has a goal on the season. This time sends in the cross. It's headed clear. Seeing a lot of stumbles all over the slick grass out there today, and a lot of adversity that both these sides are facing, but they're both playing, Chelsea, on the same field.
They're both playing on the same field. It's just one team showed up ready and the other didn't.
That'll be the most frustrating thing to Sam Stockley, who said that they'd had a great week of practice. It's another stumble from Nicole Vernis. She actually gets a free kick there. It looked like she slipped. But sometimes you need a lifeline, and Lexington Sporting Club receive a set piece. 63.6% possession so far for Carolina Ascent. Lexington, they're down on the ground. Mackin sizzles wide of the post, but what do those possession numbers tell you, Chelsea? 63.2% in favor of Carolina Ascent.
Carolina Ascent, they're looking to connect the passes. They're looking to be creative, combine, to be able to advance in the field. And if they can't force it, they just simply come back. They swing it through the back. They try to go to the other side.
Here's Corbin. Corbin trying to go one-on-one with the defender. Shepard reads the first touch, but it stays with Corbin. Aguilera connects with Harding. And Tricoli calmly to Butler.
It's exactly what I said before, Jess. I mean, look, they got to the final third of the field. They're swinging it back because they realized that there were no options. Being very patient on and off the ball.
Great soccer IQ from Carolina Ascent and understanding the possessional play as Leshnak Murphy high off her line, opts to send that one forward, and quickest to the loose ball. Who else but the Ascent? Merrick. Have a runner ahead, played into the path of Parker. Parker ran out of real estate, but it was toe poked away by Libby Moore. Corner kick for Carolina Ascent. We've seen Jill Aguilera serving in these corners, and the same positioning again. Tricoli camping up at that front post in front of Sarah Cox. Here is Jill Aguilera. Aguilera. This one loops higher. It's headed down by Porter. Controlled by Butler. Aguilera will get a second chance now. She plays it back to Butler. Driven from the defender. Deflected by Na Yong Shin, out for yet another corner.
What I really like about this Ascent side during the set pieces of the corners is that they crash the box, but then as a unit, they also check out. right before she's about to take the kick, right before Aguilera is about to kick, they all check out to create that space so that they can have that momentum moving forward. So that if the ball ends up in front of them, they can just head it right in.
There's one drawn up the training ground as the ball sent in from a deeper angle. Jenna Butler headed it down but wasn't able to get enough power on it to really test Cox. And Cox with a throw in out of play. And what do you tell Sarah Cox in goal to rebuild her confidence?
Figure it out.
Are you a tough
Sometimes
love?
tough love works. You have to figure it out, especially at this level.
Not the arm around the shoulder type,
Not
are you,
the
Chelsea?
arm around the shoulder.
Might be that New York.
Especially in
you.
that play, I understand that she's trying to connect from the back, but your team is really struggling. Your defensive line is struggling. How about you just get it out? Let's try getting the ball to the other half. Punt it out.
Here's an opportunity. As driving now is Kate Doyle. Doyle, White looked like she went a little early, but the flag has now been raised, and that's got to be a little bit more on the same page between Doyle and White.
Doyle didn't do a good job of being aware of where she was in the field. I would have checked in a little bit deeper if I were her and then ran out to create that space in front of me.
Harding into the box. Harding doesn't get enough curve. Audrey Harding had an ocean to run into. She capitalized, but couldn't get the curl into the bottom corner.
Harding does a great job by taking the space that's given to her and taking those shots. She's going to take those shots at goal.
Corbin, given all the time in the world to knock it back to Aguilera. It's a nice little dummy by Tricoli, finds Parker. Parker, blocked by the first challenge, tried a little drag back. Corbin able to switch the point of attack. Porter, beautiful play by Carolina Ascent, finds Aguilera. Aguilera options in the box. Shepherd has to head it out for a corner.
What a beautiful run by Aguilera. She wasn't even in the play, but she realized that once her teammates were combining in the middle and Corbin was looking for that opening space, she knew that she could just take that, she could run the line.
And another corner will follow. It has been all Carolina Ascent in this first half of play. Service comes in at the front post. Lexington able to defend, and it does go out of play. The referee signals that it will be another corner kick, and Porter will have a second chance to try and serve in a more dangerous delivery this time. Porter deeper with this opportunity. Harding.
It's so great when you have a player that is able to take corner on both sides, and she can kick with both legs.
Always very impressive. As the long searching ball forward, Tricoli is chasing. It's volleyed away, and there's that decision making. A better moment for Sarah Cox to come and clear that one time.
It's a better moment of her to come outside her line, come outside her box to clear that ball. I would like to see her communicate a little better with her back line because they look unorganized, and they need that leader in that back line.
I think sometimes for the goalkeeper, getting communication can build your confidence as well. Start talking and growing and getting your head back into the game.
Exactly. Being part of the plays, playing simple, 1-2 touches, communicating with your back line, seeing how your team moves. Because really, you're the one that has the best vision on the field.
Schnack Murphy with a ground driver that did end up deflecting favorably for her.
Corbin looks incredibly confident in this game.
I wonder how much of that has to do with the goal you mentioned, mind-body connection. Parker. Here is Corbin. She's popping up everywhere on the pitch today. Aguilera to Corbin. Tried the reverse pass forward into Parker. Stepping into the back line is Studer across to Merrick.
The reason why Corbin is able to move so freely is because she has players like Porter behind her that's able to clean up those balls, because Porter, as much as we're not seeing, she's doing a lot of the work by covering those spaces. And if Corbin loses the ball, Porter's right there to clean up her mess.
The foul is called. I think that's such a good point. To every flashy player, someone has to do the dirty work. LSC fans, visit lexsporting.com to get your latest Lexington SC news, merchandise, and discounted ticket offers. That's lexsporting.com. And I think that a player like Porter allows Corbin to be as talented as she is on the field and relax.
Exactly, because Corbin isn't a player with speed, so she needs two players behind her, defensive midfielders that are going to clean up. Are going to cover space that she's not able to cover, to enable her to go ahead and be creative, do what she does, run at the defenders with those 1v1s.
We have 3 minutes of additional time.
Will be a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the first half.
Which is actually not as much as I expected, because Addison Merrick was down for a considerable amount of time. I don't think either team will really be too worried about that, though. Porter. Weaving. And then patiently, again, back to Aguilera. Patience has been the word for Carolina Ascent in this first half.
Patience is key. It happens with the top teams in the world. Knowing when to attack and knowing when to hold back. The game of soccer it's a roller coaster. You have to know how to maintain the rhythm of the game and the momentum.
Cox telling everybody to get up. I guess she heard you, Chelsea. Cox sends that ball long. Aguilera tried to find Hutchinson. Shepherd recovers for Lexington.
As you can see with this Ascent side, even when they're pressing together as a unit. And they're pressing at an angle so that they're forcing Lexington to just play it to one side, not having much options.
It's a huge play by Schnack Murphy off of her line to make the slide interception. Again, Philip Hall said he trusts her, that she is a really fantastic shot stopper, and was disappointed with the goal that she conceded after a poor back pass, and that today she will be looking to prove herself. And she has done so, the former Tar Heel goalkeeper.
What's really important for this Lexington side in the second half is
As the ball deflects, and a huge save. Schnack Murphy comes to smother.
those are the moments that Lexington has to capitalize. Doyle was right there. She had a good look, but she just had to be a little bit quicker.
Schnack Murphy really trying to preserve that shutout.
Fantastic save.
As we see a corner kick, and this corner kick for Lexington SC is brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union. In swinging corner, can Lexington get a lifetime? As it's headed clear, Lexington looking for a lifeline before the break. The ball does stay with them. Moya looking for some movement ahead of her. It's back to Richardson. Richardson trying to get round Corbin. Moya chips it forwards. Shepherd not quite with that striker mentality. And that will do it for our first half of action from LSC Stadium. A dream start for Carolina Ascent. A second-minute blockbuster of a finish from Parker. In the 19th minute, Mia Corbin adds one more. And the cherry on the top right now for a first half to remember for Carolina Ascent, Audrey Harding in the 26th minute. Your thoughts, Chelsea?
This Carolina Ascent side has been doing great. They've been moving the ball around, finding those spaces in between lines, being patient on and off the ball. Whereas the Lexington side, is going to be interesting to see who is going to step up in the second half. There has to be one player that's going to step up and change the momentum of this team.
Head coach Philip Paul for the Carolina Ascent could not have dreamed for a better first half of action for his team so far. It was a fantastic start, and part of that fantastic start was Riley Parker's second-minute goal. Riley, thank you so much for joining us. Did it catch you off guard in the second minute, getting an opportunity like that?
Yeah, a little bit. I think, too, it was just kind of like more of like a relief and joy because I've been so close all season. And so for it to come that soon in the game, I was just so excited. Less so surprised, more just like so pumped and like a feeling of like finally. So
Riley, you've been doing so great this first half. You got your first goal, but what would you like to improve in the second half?
Yeah, I think when Addie kind of took a hit there when we came back out, we were kind of down on our momentum. So second half, I'd just like to see us go out and get the fourth goal quick, kind of put this game to bed and just see how many we can get and work on what we've been working on since January, which is just being clinical in the box, playing together, and just pressing as a unit. So just putting the game away early is what I would like to see in the second half.
Riley, congratulations on an impressive first half of play. Go get a breather. We'll see you in the second half.
Yeah, thanks.
That was Riley Parker, and it was her goal in the second minute that got things underway extremely quickly. In the end, for the first 45, Carolina Ascent 3-0 up over Lexington SC. We've got halftime coming up next.
Success isn't a game of chance. It's about making the right moves. Just like Lexington Sporting Club, Commonwealth Credit Union aims to win by helping you defend your goals and keeping your money on the attack. As the official credit union of Lexington Sporting Club, we're empowering success on the field and in your finances with smarter banking options and unbeatable service. Are you ready to take the lead? Then get the home field advantage for your finances, only with Commonwealth Credit Union. Here, we see you differently.
We live with you, build with you, grow up with you, and dream with you. At Central Bank, we belong to the same communities you do. You're our neighbors, friends, and business partners. And through the relationships we build with you every day, we consistently serve you better. That's what highly personal banking is all about. We start with you.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Corbin defending. Ramirez is in behind the keeper and scores!
Marley Canales with the shot.
Cross, Richardson tapped home. Bedoya launches and tucks it into the top right-hand corner. Whoa! Say man, by Alpizi.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Well, the rain continues to pour at Lexington Sporting Club Stadium, and when it rains, it pours for Lexington. A first half to forget, trailing 3-0 to the Carolina Ascent. There's been plenty of action around the Super League, though, this weekend, as we get a look at the scorelines from this match week. Fort Lauderdale United in a 0-0 draw with Spokane Zephyr. DC Power in a 1-1 draw with Brooklyn FC, and Brooklyn FC will again take on Tampa Bay at 6 p.m.
Brooklyn FC, at least they didn't get that loss. They're tied right now. I mean, what we were really surprised about was Fort Lauderdale versus Spokane. Fort Lauderdale, a first-place team, not being able to score against Spokane. They came out too confident with just their head high, and that just shows maturity.
And we'll see how Brooklyn FC next weekend can get on against the Tampa Bay Sun, looking to try and bounce back with a victory. We'll get a look at the news and notes around the Super League, and Fort Lauderdale United continue their impressive unbeaten run. They've been very good this season.
They've been very good this season, but it really comes down to now how their maturity is for these next few games, making sure that they can stay in that #1 spot, because that's the most difficult part of being in first place, being able to maintain the same type of speed of play, the same type of intelligence while playing, and not getting too complacent.
It's funny you mentioned that. We saw it with Brooklyn FC, Carolina Ascent. Both spent long stints at the top of the table, but have been pegged back. Let's keep an eye on who's going to get to double digits first. Addie McCain and Ali Thornton. And clean sheets for Madison White. Impressive with her goalkeeping record. We've got a Super League podcast that goes out every Wednesday. It's called Game Week. Let's hear from the guys that run that.
Really fun guests on this week's version of Game Week. We had Fort Lauderdale's forward Jasmine Hamid. She started the season with 4 goals in 4 games. And Marion, I think you're going to love her reason as to why she got off on this really great start.
Well, we also talk stocks, and I promise, guys, we're not giving any financial advice, but we do tell you who to buy, who to hold, and what players you may be sleeping on.
Make sure you're checking out Game Week every Wednesday. We've got so much more to get into here in the halftime break. Highlights and more are coming up next. It's Lexington SC 0, Carolina Ascent 3. Welcome back to USL Super League action from Lexington. A fascinating first half of action. Let's have a look how it occurred. And Chelsea, it was a fast start for Carolina Ascent. Forwarded. I think you're right. Don't take away from the finish. And as we get a look at the statistics, it has been all Ascent right now. 15 shots, 66.7% possession. Philip Hall's side have handled this game well.
Carolina Ascent has done a superb job of being tactically intelligent, moving that ball around, keeping the rhythm. When they have to speed up the play, they speed up the play. When they have to slow it down and play that possession around the back, they do so. Lexington just isn't able to connect passes. They're not playing as a unit and a lot of lack of communication.
We've got 45 minutes left of action here in Lexington. It's going to be a big second half. You don't want to miss. And Carolina Ascent. Jessica Charman, Chelsea Kabakas here with you and our entire crew. Delighted you're joining us. It has been quite the first half to forget for Lexington Sporting Club. Head coach Sam Stockley will have had some words to say in the locker room.
Carolina Ascent is up 3-0, but that doesn't change anything for Lexington. I mean, they can go into the second half and change things around. It all depends on how they go into this game to set the tempo.
Here's Shin. Back to Sarah Cox, and Cox scooped this one a little further afield, but it's picked up by the high pressure of Riley Parker. Parker said in our halftime interview, I want to get us off to a quick start in the second half. And Carolina Ascent continuing the way they left off with the possessional play. Leshnak Murphy did have a fantastic save towards the end of the first half to preserve the shutout so far for the Ascent. Here's White. Tried to thread the ball forwards.
What I like about what Parker said in the interview was that they have been practicing to connect in that final third of the field, and that's exactly what we're seeing. They're being patient in that final third.
We did have a halftime substitution with Maddie Parsons coming in to the play, replacing Emma Johnson. Emma Johnson, the Academy product, and it's always tough when you get taken off at halftime, but nothing to do with her as an individual, all about the fact that they need goals right now, and Maddie Parsons is a player that has certainly been very good in front of goal, has 5 goals so far in the Super League. I talked to Sam Stockley about Maddie Parsons' role on the bench since he arrived at the helm, and he said she's the ultimate professional, ready to contribute in any way she can, and here she is here. Parsons. Great footwork from Parsons, but couldn't evade the third defender.
Lexington needs that player to step up, to show that confidence and that personality on the field, to take control, because right now it just seems like they don't have a true captain.
Corbin looking to get around Shin. Shin pulls her back, and the offense is going against Shin. This will lead to our first yellow card of the game, and this yellow card is presented by Hickson Funson. Get another look at the replay. The yellow card again is brought to you by Hicks and Funson. Shin on the referee's caution now, and it will set up a dangerous looking free kick. Madison Merrick stands over it. A low driven cross. Parker tries to spin and shoot, wasn't able to get a clean connection. In the end, Taylor Porter hits the volley. And Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Chelsea, we just saw Nayeon Shin pick up that yellow card. It's difficult as a defender to play a duration of a half on a yellow card.
It definitely is. So early in the half. Now she has to be careful with what she does, how she defends. She can't be as physical as a center back should be, because you never know what mood the ref is in that day. So you can pick up that second yellow, and that will be a red.
Ball slotted through to Parsons. It goes out of play. Will lead to a goal kick, trying to find Parsons Fans, visit lexsporting.com to shop at Lexington SC's team store, your one-stop destination for all of the latest LSC gear and official merchandise. From kits, scarves, and hats, we've got everything you need to show off your club pride. That's lexsporting.com. A somewhat promising attack from Lexington, but now it's been turned into a transitional moment. Here's Hutchinson. Ellie Hutchinson feigns the shot. Shin goes to ground with the slide interception. Important from Nayeon Shin.
What a great play from Carolina Ascent to pull out the defenders. But this is where I'm going to take it to the Lexington side. It's a lack of communication because the center backs don't know when to step. Shin didn't know if she should step, if she should stay. You saw it clearly that she was very hesitant.
Tough as well, as you mentioned, with Shin being on the yellow card, not wanting to get put in any precarious situations. First 5 minutes are gone here. A slower start for Carolina Ascent, but not easy to recreate a goal in 2 minutes like they had in the first half through Riley Parker. Searching ball. Coming off her line is Cox. It was very important by Sarah Cox to come smother.
I would like to see on this Lexington side for a Perez to step in the back line so she can break those lines from the back line. She can pass those through balls, switch the point of attack. It's something that she's really good in. I really wonder why they're not subbing her in.
Maddie Perez played in 16 games. All of those starts, has 5 assists on the season. Sam Stockley did say that she still has some things that she needs to work upon. As we know, the weather, with rain and sun comes rainbows, and Lexington Sporting Club hoping for some magic at the end of the rainbow, and they've got a big performance for this second 45 minutes if they're going to be able to get back into the game. But you said it, Chelsea, it's all about the little wins for their side.
It's all about the little wins, attention to detail. That's what wins football games, soccer games, I'm sorry. Attention to detail.
Football, soccer, football, it's all the same thing. It's a beautiful game, and we're so glad you're joining us wherever you are in the world for this USL Super League broadcast. Studer launches it long. It's cleared away, no nonsense out the back, and you are seeing the adjustment, Chelsea, of Lexington's back line, maybe not playing with fire as much in the second half, getting rid of the ball more tidily.
They are. They're not holding on to the ball. They just want to clear the ball as much as possible. They need to get that ball to the other side of the field.
It was Venice that drew the foul to set up a free kick. Shin will take it. Ever seen 3 rainbows? Well, it's been 3 goals for Carolina Ascent right now. Maybe it's a rainbow per goal. I don't know if we've ever seen a quadruple rainbow, but I have a feeling maybe Lexington can claw one back. When you've got the likes of Maddie Parsons on the pitch, you can never count them off goals. And I have no doubt Lexington, playing at home, would love to at least get a moment for their home crowd to celebrate. Parker getting ready to throw this one in. Caught under some pressure. It's good work by Shane Moyer, but couldn't find the pass. Yeah, Corbin runs out of real estate. It's out of play. Lexington throw. Big switch from Vernice. Just cleared out of bounds, no nonsense by Jill Aguilera.
I would like to see more points of switch of attack by Vernice, because that's what really gets a team shifting.
And perhaps with the fact that the fullbacks for Carolina Ascent like to get forward, if they can switch the ball quickly, there'll be space over the top. Mackin scored a world-class goal last time out against DC Power. White just couldn't get it to settle properly for her. Parker controlling the tempo. There's two really good results in a row for Lexington coming into this game. A 0-0 draw against Brooklyn, and then a 2-1 victory over DC Power. But right now, a performance they won't be too happy with, as Shepherd is not happy that advantage wasn't played. Looked like she was being tugged from pillar to post, but ended up getting a decent pass. Referee's whistle overrules that. It will be a free kick instead. Parsons, deep cross from Parsons. Goalkeeper comes, doesn't fully connect. Leshnak Murphy, but in the end it's cleared far as possible away from Carolina Ascent's goal.
Lexington is trying to win those individual battles, and what they're not realizing that individually they're not going to beat a team like Carolina Ascent. They're going to have to try to build up 1-2 touches, gain that confidence first before you try taking those individual battles.
Shea Moyer starts it back with Shin. He's more confident at the moment from Lexington, but then the final ball a little wayward. Tricoli played forward into Merrick. Merrick slows down her run, a deflection away. Cox is able to control, fighting for it was Hutchinson. Cox is able to cleanly pick it up in the end.
Cox must be so frustrated with her back line.
We do have confirmation that Riley Parker received a yellow card for the disrupting of that promising attack, and this yellow card is presented by Hicks and Funson. So a yellow card apiece right now. It was Nayeon Shin on a yellow card for Lexington, and Riley Parker with a caution for Carolina Ascent. Shea Moyer will leave the throw-in for Mackin. Mackin's throw-in is poked away by Tricoli, and then played out of play by Addison Merrick.
Jess, it seems to me like Lexington sometimes feels like they're outnumbered on the field when they really aren't, but that just means that there's no movement off the ball.
You mentioned the fluidity and the movement of Carolina Ascent, and perhaps Lexington struggle to find a match for that. Leshnak Murphy sends this one long. Shin to Moyer. Moyer, who's having to drift into different pockets over the pitch to get on the ball. This time, though, possession falls back to the Ascent. Ellie Hutchinson is penalised. Sydney Shepherd taken to the ground. We'll get another look at the contact.
It really seems like Shepherd is just getting frustrated at this point.
Shepherd did end the free kick in the end. Hutchinson deemed to have not been in the position to play the ball as the offside flag is raised against Hannah White. Get the latest Lexington SC news right at your fingertips by downloading the official mobile app powered by Fan360. Get access to exclusive content while shopping for season tickets and LSC gear, all in the Lexington SC Fan app. Leshnak Murphy. Butler. Further across to Aguilera, who just one time pokes it forward, looking for the run of Harding. Harding does enough to earn the throw. Audrey Harding, who has goal number 3. Here's Hannah Richardson. Scored against Carolina back on the February 15th matchup. Hasn't really had a look so far this afternoon. a good turn out of trouble by Venice.
Venice has been doing her best trying to get out of the pressure, trying to connect, but she hasn't had much luck.
Just feels
This
like
Lexington side
swarming them.
Yeah, this Lexington side, they connect 2 passes max, which is concerning.
I think it can be a bit of two things with Carolina Ascent playing so well and Lexington having a disappointing day at the office for them. Really the first major adversity that interim head coach Sam Stockley has faced during his time at the helm. Tricoli. It's a ball down the channel to Chase. Shin will get there. She just opts to clear it out for the throw-in. Parker. Back to Merrick. Studer. And a beautiful pass by Parker to find Corbin. Corbin has time to look up. Now she'll run at the defense. Corbin, outside boot pass. Cleared away. High pressure falls to Aguilera. Aguilera into the runner and a strike and goal number 4. Audrey Harding has a brace. Aguilera to Harding, and Harding straight into the back of the net.
What a great combination by Aguilera and Harding. Aguilera is always going to run at that back line. She's going to create that space by attracting the defenders and going ahead and passing that ball to Harding.
We'll get another look at this
What a
finish
good
here.
look by Harding. Not hesitating, that composure. And this game is 4-0. This is unfortunate for Lexington.
Philip Paul told us he thought that things just had to find a way of clicking. He felt like they were creating opportunities, just were not being clinical enough. Today, they have been clinical. And 4 goals from 3 different goal scorers. And they're not done yet. Merrick inside to Hutchinson, back to Merrick. Merrick squares it to Corbin. And Corbin sees it blocked away by Shepherd. And it will end up being a goal kick, much to Mia Corbin's frustration.
You can already see by the body language of Lexington that they're over the game. And it's only 60 minutes in.
It's good to see moments like that from Sydney Shepherd, though, still trying to put in the challenge and make sure this game doesn't grow too further of a deficit. It's a 6-0 scoreline with Brooklyn FC losing in that one against Dallas Trinity. So we have seen some wayward scorelines this year in the Super League's first season. Porter. Aguilera. Her pass read a little too well for her liking. Here come Lexington. The pass just too straight on. Parsons doesn't have a chance to get there, and Samantha Leshnak-Murphy will find it too easy to hold in her boots.
This is the perfect time for Carolina Ascent to start trying new things, being creative, moving players around, because injuries happen this part of the season.
Interesting to see
So if
when
you're
Philip
up
Poole goes to the
4-0,
bench.
yeah, if you're up 4-0, might as well just go into your bench, start changing.
Cox. Her ball wayward again. Merrick will keep this one in play. Merrick, driven low cross. You see the frustration there. Hutchinson feels like she could have finished that one with more accuracy. We will see a substitution now for Sam Stockley's side. Corey Sullivan enters for her 11th appearance rather, and Libby Moore comes out of the field. Corey Sullivan had started 3 games, the former Cruz Azul player, yet to score in the Super League as of yet. So Sullivan replaces Moore. Carolina Ascent penalized. Was Parker called for the foul? She does need to be careful.
She does need to be careful because she already has a yellow card. So this was exactly my point earlier. You should just sub her out.
Every Wednesday, listen to USL Super League Game Week, a deep dive into all things Super League with host Marion Crowder and Anna Whitty. Follow along all season long on the SiriusXM app. Parker. Throws that ball into the run of Hutchinson. Nayunshin will see it out of play. West 6th Brewing is proud to be a partner of the Lexington Sporting Club. With dynamic taproom locations all throughout the state of Kentucky, you can enjoy West 6's locally crafted beers for all of your adventures. Enjoy a Stadium Ale, the official craft beer of Lexington SC, at all home games or at your favorite retailers about Lexington. So huge 15 minutes now in this moment as a response is dragged wide by Hannah White.
And that was so close for Anna White. Getting in between the defenders, she did a very good job in analyzing where the back line was standing and took her chances. If they could get more chances like this, they will score. It's just a matter of getting the ball to her.
It's a big 15 minutes to get some momentum from these players and then figure out what you do with the final 10 for Lexington. But a goal would change a lot in terms of confidence of this team that Sam Stockley is looking to figure out more about character.
Corbin has been doing an incredible job picking up those plays, being a lot more active.
Lexington did have the most goals conceded coming into this game, and they continue to struggle with that. 39 goals now conceded, a negative 16 goal difference for Sam Stockley's side. The double substitution readying themselves for Carolina Ascent. Philip Paul getting ready to test that squad depth, Chelsea, that you talked about.
It's important. This is the perfect moment for him to try out different players in different positions, for them to be creative, because you never know when injuries happen. You have to have options.
High pressure, almost successful by Maddie Parsons. Parsons, who has changed the dynamic in this forward line since arriving on the field for Lexington. Double substitution is now coming in. We will see Catherine Gonzalez, the Dominican Republic international, enter the field of play, in addition to Jada Bedoya, the Ecuadorian national team player. Exiting is Ellie Hutchinson and also Riley Parker.
Jada Bedoya is really good on her feet, extremely creative. You never know what she's exactly going to do on the ball, which is great, and it also can be a bad thing. It's great because she's a player that she's going to take chances. She wants to try new things, but it's not safe when you're down 2 goals, 3 goals. But in this case, they're up 4, so she can do whatever she wants on the ball.
Not a bad asset to be able to bring on 2 internationals as a sub, as we see Carolina Ascent giving up the corner kick. And this corner kick for Lexington SC is brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union. Service hung higher into the air. Leshnak Murphy wasn't able to get there. Unfortunately for Lexington, nobody crashing that back post for the tap-in. Mackin, throw it in now. Parsons takes a tumble, sandwiched by two, still fighting for it. Maddie Parsons, great move by Parsons, and then a slip. The grass just gave way, but Maddie Parsons showing heart and soul for this Lexington team.
Great move by Parsons to get out of that small space, trying to get out, but it's what I said earlier. She doesn't have support.
Isolated is Maddie Parsons right now, but she has definitely brought a surge of energy to Lexington. Splitting pass. He's looking again for Parsons, who lost her footing. Stay up to date with the USL Super League. Sign up for the Super League newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at uslsuperleague.com/newsletter. Corbin tried to chest that one forward. It's read well by Shin. There's Mackin, launches it up the middle of the park, and the flag is raised. White deemed to have challenged from an offside position. Lexington able to recover possession though, as a strike comes sailing over the crossbar. But Lexington Sporting Club through Hannah White with an opportunity.
White has been trying. She's trying to take her chances to shoot outside the box. We're now starting to see a little bit more from this Lexington side. They're attacking. They're keeping the ball on the other side of the field.
And the shots are adding up for both teams as we take a peek at the shots. A dominant 22 shots for Carolina Ascent. 50% conversion rate in terms of on target with those 11 shots on target. Lexington with 6 shots, only 1 on target. That's where Sam Stockley's going to be very concerned about not finding opportunities that create golden chances.
Yeah, Jess, but those 6 chances, at least they're taking their chances on goal. They can get a rebound.
Bedoya, some good feet. Couldn't quite be able to pull the trigger, and instead it's taken away. Mackin. Trying to send Parsons forward, but completely overhit there, and you're right. It feels like Chelsea, Lexington have started to turn the screws a little bit, and they've had a big 5 minutes in terms of getting into the attacking third.
They've woken up. We're starting to see them connect. We're starting to see them attack more, taking their chances. I would still like to see a little bit more from them.
Here's Sullivan, the halftime substitute, goes for goal, ricochets the crossbar. Corey Sullivan, who entered this game as a substitute, stings the woodwork.
Sometimes that's what you need. You need that sub to come in and shake things up, take those chances. That was a beautiful strike. Could have just came a little lower.
Leshnak Murphy might well have got a hand on that one as it dipped in, and it has set up a corner, and it's brought to you by Commonwealth Credit Union. Moya able to recover after a slight stumble. Moya, low driving cross, picked up by Mackin. Mackin, who did score off a recycled corner against DC Power. Moya assesses and crosses into an area. A combination of the goalkeeper and defender, volley blocked away. Chaotic inside the 18 as a strike from distance sizzles wide. Lexington Sporting Club starting to create.
I'm excited. Where was this Lexington side the first 5 minutes of the game? They're starting to take their chances, and they're showing that they're good enough to match up with this Carolina Ascent side.
You can see Carolina Ascent fighting to preserve that clean sheet. This is a Carolina Ascent that has only kept 1 clean sheet in the last 9 games. They had led the league in clean sheets for a considerable amount of the full section of the season and dropped off. So this would mean a lot to the defensive line if they're able to get clean sheet number 2 in 10 games. Mackin sees the ball slip out her hands, and then letter of the law, a foul throw. And that just feels...
Those are the little things that shouldn't be happening.
Slick conditions, a cruel moment for Mackin. Chicoli throws it in towards Bedoya. Shepherd. Over the top. Jenna Butler will just clear it up the line for a less promising throw-in.
We're starting to see Lexington more on the ball, swing the ball around the back. All we really need from them is just more movement. That's what it is, rotation. Rotation in the middle, switching plays, overlapping runs.
You mentioned it was the movement and the rotations that made such a promising start for Carolina Ascent, and Sam Stockley has definitely got more out of his side in the second half of play. He'll be encouraged. But the scoreline obviously still a huge disappointment, particularly on home grass. Gonzalez played it down to Bedoya, the two subs combining. Bedoya, a beautiful square pass, was looking for Audrey Harding, who is on a hat trick should she add another goal.
What a beautiful pass by Bedoya.
Harding, who faced a lot of adversity this season, missed several games through injury. She's only featured in 12 games before this match, but she's really started to impress. And here she is pressing the ball. In the end, Cox recovers in goal.
This Carolina Ascent side has, now they have transitioned to more defending, being a little bit more patient in the low block.
Parsons was strong in the play, running at traffic. Parsons outside of the boot pass to White. White is offside. It was a save in the end by Leshnat Murphy. White couldn't bend her run.
This Ascent side is now letting Lexington run at them, run at the back line. And they're getting caught out of position a lot of times. This is, I think, it's the third time.
Here is Hannah White, the former Georgia Bulldog, scored 10 goals in her 2 seasons with UGA. Scored her first goal for the Super League against DC Power. Shepherd. Cox launches it. It's headed back by Merrick. Gonzalez. Tried to play it forward. Couldn't find the clean enough pass. Gonzalez will be called for the foul. A little too overzealous from behind. That'll give an opportunity for B. Hilton to enter into the field of play. She will replace Sarah Tricoli. Hilton, who most recently got a call-up for the U19 England squad for the 2025 UEFA Championship qualifiers. No bias from me,
No
but
bias.
that's
I
quite
was just gonna ask you,
exciting.
how do you feel about that?
The future is bright, Chelsea. Here is Hilton. Jessica Charman, Chelsea Kabakas, our entire crew, glad you're with us. It has been quite the game. Definitely not what a lot of people would have predicted, considering Carolina Ascent had struggled in front of goal as of late, and Lexington was on a solid run. Merrick. And Inside to Gonzalez and back to Merrick. Beautiful give and go by the Ascent. Merrick. A deep cross towards the back post, and Harding can only find the side netting.
What a great cross by Merrick, looking for that far post.
We'll get another substitution for Sam Stockley's side. Mary Kate Maguire, the former Duke Blue Devil, an Ole Miss player, comes into play, replacing Kate Doyle. Maguire has found the back of the net 4 times, but hasn't scored since November.
This is the perfect time to score.
She'll have 10 minutes to see if she can break that dry spell. Hilton, good strength. IB Hilton. As Aguilera is pressed down. Stay informed about all things Super League. Visit USLSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into the league. Aguilera able to tightrope that one in play. She'll get it back. Fortunately, a miscue for Jill Aguilera. Lexington will have a throw. Hannah Richardson into the boots of Venice. And Richardson sandwiched between Corbin and Harding. Harding able to break free.
Porter has been playing that central role. As you can see, she's always looking over her shoulder, giving the team that balance for the Carolina Ascent.
Cox in goal. A little bit of pressure. She's looked a lot calmer with the ball at her feet. Decision making much improved in the second half of play. Mary Kate Maguire couldn't make that one stick. Her first touch since entering the field as a sub. Great body by Bedoya. Bedoya couldn't thread the first pass. Resets.
You can see that hunger in Bedoya. She wants to run at them. She's asking for the ball.
That was Bedoya again inside the 18. Couldn't quite control it. It's out of play now for a Lexington throw. Be a free kick for Lexington Sporting Club. And there are some little wins for Lexington in the second half. They've managed to stem the fast flow of Carolina Ascent's forward line a little better.
There has been small improvements. You're seeing them on the ball more. They're connecting more passes. They're getting shots on goal, which they weren't getting in the first half.
Good win by Hannah White, but then blocked by B. Hilton. Ascent looking to turn that block into some attack. Instead, they slow it down and regroup. Merrick. Gonzalez. Corbin. Here's Gonzalez. Square ball. Finding Merrick. Merrick picks her head up, starts it back with Gonzalez. And Merrick deemed to have been offside right down in front of our official. The next home match for the Lexington SC women's team is Wednesday, April 16th at 6 p.m. where they take on Spokane Zephyr FC. Visit lexsporting.com to purchase your tickets now. Double substitution for Philip Paul's side, as in comes Ashlyn Sarepka and Emily Moxley. Emily Moxley, who became a pro with Carolina Ascent, Ashlyn Sarepka scored the first brace in Carolina Ascent history. So more goals coming off the bench now for Philip Paul's side.
Which is great to get those minutes under their legs and being able to give them that confidence to score.
Here's Harding. Back to Aguilera. That's out for a goal kick. Gonzalez able to keep it in and earn a throw. Gonzalez, great feet. And Moxley. Studer. Studer pass almost under hit there. It's over to Jill Aguilera, still with gas in the tank. Aguilera drives the cross, it's controlled by Bedoya. Bedoya into the hands of Sarah Cox.
Aguilera is going to look for those diagonal passes. She's going to look to connect with a center forward or that number 10.
Cox boots it forwards. Straight back by the Ascent. Mia Corbin. Gonzalez appealing for a free kick. She gets it. Julie Mackin called for the foul. Gonzalez isn't happy that Mackin wasn't shown a yellow card there. A centre official, Stephanie McFarland, deemed it as a foul but not worthy of that caution.
Well, this is the part of the game that Lexington is most probably going to get frustrated. They're gonna start hitting. They're gonna start pulling, and this Ascent side is going to want to avoid that because that's going to be injuries.
There's a foul coming in from Carolina Ascent on the slide challenge. Venice through the contact. After 3 goals in the first half, Carolina Ascent only managing the 1 lone goal from Audrey Harding in the 62nd minute. That has us sat here in a 4-0 lead for the Ascent. Hannah Richardson just couldn't control that one clean enough. Richardson, who played professionally in Denmark before arriving, former University of Kentucky player. There she was again, just deflecting that one out. Has scored 3 goals on the season, Hannah Richardson, but today hasn't really had a look towards the frame. Just the 1 shot on target for Lexington today. Ball struck Corbin from close distance in the face, looked a little rattled. Schnack Murphy will control.
My question is, where does Lexington go from here? After this game, they're going to have to regroup. They're going to have to analyze what they did wrong for this next game. How do you keep the confidence of these players somewhat high after a loss like this?
You're so right. It's going to be a tough task for Sam Stockley, who has said he has a fantastic group in front of him. Pass was searching for Bedoya to chase.
But I think what's really important, Jess, is stability for a team, right? The changes of coaches, changes of facilities, that plays a huge part in the performance of the players. And this Lexington side has gone through a few changes.
You mentioned where do they go next? Well, they play Dallas Trinity FC, who are extremely in form right now. That game on Sunday, April the 6th, so some time to regroup for Sam Stockley's side, but you know best as a player. Sometimes you just want to get back on the pitch for redemption versus having to wait until April 6th again.
Exactly, but sometimes you do need that rest as a player to kind of sit with yourself and regroup and analyze how you've been playing, what you need to do better. Somewhat visualize yourself improving.
We're hearing 1 minute confirmed now of additional time. Won't be long until this Carolina Ascent side get their opportunity to celebrate what has been an emphatic victory. It's B. Hilton. Beautiful ball struck by Hilton. Cox off of her line. She will get there. Sarah Cox trying to preserve the 4 goals conceded and not have things escalate any further.
It's a tough game for Cox because it really comes down to her and her performance, right? She's the one that's getting scored on. There's not much she can do for her defensive line to pick it up.
Being a goalkeeper is a difficult position, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Sarah Cox has been described as a leader and a true professional by Sam Stockley. No doubt she'll be able to recover. Macken. Last entry of play, perhaps. Is Lexington Sporting Club. Unable to get the ball back in. That will be it. The final whistle blows and Carolina Ascent back on the climb. An emphatic 4-0 victory over Lexington Sporting Club. Your thoughts, Chelsea Kabakis?
This is a big win for Carolina Ascent. They're going to walk away with a confident boost. And it was a great game. They performed well. They were moving the ball around. They got between lines. Whereas this Lexington side is going to have to go back and regroup and analyze what they need to improve.
Well, a player that is going to be thrilled with her brace on the night is Audrey Harding. Audrey now joins us down pitch side. Audrey, congratulations. Just sum up the emotions of getting a brace and emphatic victory today.
Great to finally net some goals. And I think we came out really hard as a team and proved ourselves from our loss against Tampa. So I'm just really proud of our team and happy I can help us get the win.
Harding, what was different from preparing this game compared to the other matches? Because we saw the Ascent side come out with a lot of emotion.
Yeah, just the past couple games, we've executed our game plan, but we just haven't finished. And I think in training, we've been working on that and working to get the ball up and in the box. And yeah, we just worked as a team, and I'm just really happy and proud. Yeah, I think our mentality against this team, we knew we needed 3 points to keep ourselves in the top 4. So it was really just about our mentality and working as a team together. So yeah.
Well, the headlines are going to be about the goals, but let's touch on the shutout real quick. How important was that for the defensive stability for your side?
Very, very good, especially coming from the last couple games. We've given up a couple unnecessary goals. So just to get back to our back line holding it down for us, it's been really great. So I'm super happy, super proud. Everyone worked hard defensively, so I think overall it was really great.
Well, congratulations, Audrey Harding, on your 2 goals and the victory. Go enjoy the celebrations.
Thank you.
What a night it was at the office for Carolina Ascent. They win 4-0 on the day against Lexington Sporting Club. An exciting matchup, goals, energy, so much more. We're going to get into the full time after this quick break. Welcome back to LSC Stadium. We are here with you with the grand finale. Carolina Ascent victorious 4-0 over Lexington SC. Let's take a look at the highlights now of how we got here, Chelsea Kabakis, and it was always a quick start for Carolina Ascent.
What a great display by Carolina Ascent. They really capitalized on Lexington's errors. Here we have a great cross going into Parker, and Parker playing that number 9 position, which earlier I said, Carolina Ascent doesn't have a number 9. Well, she proved me wrong because she was right there in the 6.
She talked about it in our halftime interview that she was almost caught off guard, but was so excited to finally have her opportunity to score. A little later, it would be defensive woes from Lexington Sporting Club. A difficult decision to bowl it out, a poor back pass that Mia Corbin would capitalize on.
A big defensive error on the Lexington side. That's why it's very important that if you're going to play that one touch, get your body over the ball. And Corbin did a great job by capitalizing on the errors of a back line again. She stayed in tune with the game.
It would be in the 26th minute, another opportunity. Carolina Ascent getting a chance that fell to Audrey Harding, and she got on the score sheet.
Audrey Harding did a great job with that first touch and turn. She chipped it right over the goalkeeper. Didn't even hesitate.
Well, guess what? It would be Audrey Harding again with a moment to shine. Her brace. Great work by Aguilera. Still a lot to do for Harding. A great finish.
Aguilera did an exceptional job by holding on the play, running at the defensive line, being patient, and slotting it over to Harding to just finish that goal.
We've seen how it looks, but these are the numbers behind the game, and it was an improvement for Lexington in the second half, but just completely outshot by the Carolina Ascent.
Carolina Ascent really dominated the first half and the second half with the possession. They moved the ball around. They were patient. They were able to maintain that rhythm of the match, whereas in Lexington, they were lost in the first half. They weren't able to combine. They weren't finding those spaces in the middle of the park. It really comes down to a game of transition. Whoever's better in the transition is going to win the game.
Well, there is no doubt about who was the better side on the night today. It was all Carolina Ascent with a afternoon to remember. Back on the wagon, back on the rise. Carolina Ascent with an impressive 4-0 victory. For myself, Jessica Charman, Chelsea Kabakis, our entire crew, thank you for joining us for Super League. Final score, Carolina Ascent 4, Lexington Sporting Club 0. Thank you and have a great evening.